Alright, so this is actually my second time recording this video because I recorded the whole video and then when I was uploading it in YouTube, I realized it had no sound. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, that happened. So I'm kind of bummed out, but who cares? Because we are almost at 100 likes, right? That just came out of nowhere. We are almost at 100 likes. We still have 20 more likes to go for the prepare for the CCHI video. 20 likes, that's almost nothing, guys. Come on, I'm pretty sure we can get it by Friday, right? 100 likes. Who doesn't want to get the MIP 21 on YouTube? I know I do. All right, so let's get to it. Thank you for everyone that has been supporting us, that has been supporting all of the likes, everyone that has got us likes. Especially Fabiola. I love you, Fabiola. You are awesome and you are really pushing this video. You really want to get MIP 21 and I hope that we can get MIP 21 for you and for everyone this Friday. So let's get to it. Prepare for the CCHI to 100 likes. Once we get the prepare for CCHI to 100 likes, we're gonna be uploading MIP 21 to YouTube, where you are gonna get a chance to comment on that video, and we're gonna pick 2 comments at random. Those 2 people that made those comments are gonna get exclusive links to MIP 22 before anyone in the whole wide world, and they're gonna get a chance to record their interpretations, send them over to us so we can provide them some lovely feedback. So who doesn't want that, right? If you want that, let's get that video to 100 likes. Prepare for the CCHI. I'll probably put a link up here and definitely a link down there. So let's get to it, guys. Let's get started. So hello and welcome to Unwind Sessions, where right after my shift I give the highlights of my workday and answer any questions that might have been asked at a previous session. My name is Juan. I am an English-Spanish medical video remote consecutive interpreter with over 4 years of experience. Today is Tuesday, August 17, 2021. Today I took 17 sessions. I was a little surprised as well, like you are. I said 17 sessions? That doesn't seem right. Why so little? Well, I completely forgot that I only worked 4 hours today. So 17, that's kind of half, right, of like the usual 30, 32s that I usually get. So yeah, that makes sense. All right, and it was always like a mix between video and audio sessions. The last 2 sessions were audio though, which were very lovely. They were just about an hour in length for both of them together, and I loved it. I mean, who doesn't want to get a whole hour of audio sessions when you have to take nothing but video sessions, right? So I love my audio sessions, all right? Don't take them away from me. And so today I only have one highlight, and that highlight is, let me just tell you right away what happened. So the gentleman, the doctor was letting the gentleman know that he needed to get prepared for an operation and that they were going to take him to the OR, to the operating room, and they were going to take the nail out. So I wrote everything down and then I went ahead to interpret, and then when I went to interpret it and I got to the word nail, I realized that I didn't know what nail where the doctor was talking about, right? Was it a nail, like a hammer and nail, or was it a fingernail, foot nail? What kind of a nail was it, right? Toenail. So I didn't know, and then like I interpreted everything for the gentleman, and right when I got to that word, I didn't know what to do, so I told the gentleman, excuse me for a little bit. And then I went back to the doctor and then I asked him what kind of a nail it was. He said, just a regular nail, you know, hammer and nail. And I was like, all right, and that was it. And I went to the gentleman and I just finished the rendition. That was the last word, the last thing that I had to say. So I felt very bad. I felt like, well, I didn't feel like it. I wasn't paying attention, right? If I had been paying attention right at the start, I would have caught that and I would have asked the gentleman, what kind of nail are we talking about, before I gave my rendition. But no, I didn't do that. I didn't catch it. And it makes me feel bad whenever I make these mistakes because they are so petty, right? They're so small. And but still they made me look like a bad interpreter, right? Because I wasn't paying attention and the gentleman could see that. It was nothing major, but still it made me feel bad. And I don't really dwell on what I do bad. I just remember it and I make sure not to do it again. So it didn't bum me out or anything, but I just hate it. I just hate it when that happens. That's probably happened like 2 or 3 times in my whole interpreter career that I can remember. Um, and I just hate it. I just hate it. So this is more of a reminder for myself. Remember to pay attention and to make sure that everything is clear before giving your rendition all the time. So you don't look like a fool and you don't look like you're not paying attention, right? So, yeah, guys, do as I say, not as I do. This is a clear example of that. All right, and let's get to it. So 10 must-know psychology vocabulary terms. And thank you, Chloe Cash, for that idea. Now, that is an awesome topic, and I don't know the best way to address this, so I will do my best. I am going to start with the psychology video, then psychiatry, then general mental health, and maybe a depression screening. And if I feel it's good, then I stop there. If not, I will probably make a 5th video talking about mental health, but I don't know. Well, let's just play it by ear. Let's just see what happens. So expect, oh man, I just erased my 100 likes. I just have to make another one. All right, so anyways, I will do those videos because you said mental health. I was looking for mental health vocabulary and just so expensive. It's just so extensive, and then it just covers psychology, psychiatry, general mental health. So I just thought I would divide those into like medical specialties, so it's easier for me to actually go ahead and create lists, right? Because everything was just all together, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. So psychology today, psychiatry tomorrow, general mental health the day after, and then maybe depression screening, maybe another 5th video. I don't know. We will just see. All right, so let's get to it. The 10 must-know psychology vocabulary words. The following definitions were obtained from Google, vocabulary.com, quizlet.com, psychogenie.com. All right, so word number 1, catharsis, or catharsis in Spanish. So what is catharsis? It is a purging of emotional tension. All right, so what does that mean? So let's say that a person has something inside of them, like an issue, right, that they haven't vocalized, they haven't expressed with everyone else, like, right, it's just gnawing inside of them, right? It's just like an emotion that it's in them, and it's preventing them from living a normal life, right? And then this person might go to the psychologist to get all that out. So going to the psychologist is a catharsis for whatever emotion they have bottled up, right? And this person might after speaking might completely cry or whatever, or go burst in anger, anything. Another catharsis, another explanation for catharsis is, for example, someone that life is weighing down on them, and maybe they go to boxing class, right, just to get all that energy. Maybe they have very negative energy from everything that's going on, right, and then they just go and release all of their anger, all of their negativity in boxing, taekwondo, running, or whatever. Anything that it's an outlet for emotion, that is creating a catharsis. So catharsis, very, very important term. All right, number 2, cognition, and here it is, cognition. So cognition is the mental action or process of acquiring knowledge and understanding throughout thought, experience, and senses. So that is pretty much like what we are able to experience, right? What we are able to process inside of our brains. And they have tests to measure cognitive abilities and all of this stuff. So um, um, psychologists have strategized type of tests that can tell if a person has acceptable cognition or not. And um, sometimes whenever a person is affected, like a hit to the head or something like that, it could affect their cognition as well. A stroke could affect cognition as well. So very, very important term. All right, and number 3, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. And I'm sorry, the translation for that is trastorno de déficit de atención e hiperactividad. Now, the definition for this is a psychological disorder marked by extreme inattention and or hyperactivity and impulsivity. So ADHD is a a disorder which the person that has this has a lack of attention. Like, for example, let's say this is a train of thought, right? Here it goes, regular train of thought, and you're just thinking about that, but then all of a sudden here comes another thought, just knocks it out, and now you're thinking about this thing. Now this train is completely gone out of your mind, and now you're going on this one, and then for another thought just comes by, and you never get anything accomplished, you never get anything done, because you cannot focus on a single thing. Like, it just your focus just goes from one thing to another, and it's very disruptive. It is, for the most part, diagnosed in children. Most adults can grow out of it. Not all of them do, though. And the hyperactivity is just this person that really moves a lot, right? They just can't stay still. I don't know if we have all the experience when we were little, right? We had these classmates that they were very hyperactive, right? They couldn't just stay still in their seat. They were just moving around the whole classroom. The teacher always told them to sit down. That is hyperactivity. Whenever you give children a lot of sugar, right? Like, they're just jittery. They don't know what to do with all that excess sugar and energy, right? That's hyperactivity. So imagine being this hyperactive child, right, that can't focus. How hard that must be for them to live a normal life. Fortunately, there are medicines that help with this. All right, let's move on to number 4. Antisocial behavior, or conducta antisocial. So what is this? It is a type of behavior which shows no consideration for others and lack of judgment. Antisocial behavior of an individual might cause damage to the property of others. Such kind of behavior is the manifestation of the antisocial personality disorder. So just like the word says, or the term says, antisocial, against society, right? Antisocial means against society. So this is any behavior that is against society, right? That makes people not want to be around the person that has antisocial behavior. For example, a person that is very angry or irritated or just snaps at you for no reason, that's antisocial behavior, right? That's the kind of person no one wants to be around. A person that probably hasn't showered in like a week, right? No one's gonna want to be around that person. So anything that shows behaviors that society does not accept, right? All of that is antisocial behavior. All right, and number 5. This is gonna get a long explanation, and here it is. Number 5 is acting out and this is my own translation, actos impulsivos. Now let me tell you what it is, and then I'll give you a little story. It is the term used for an action that is performed going by the impulsive behavior rather than constructively responding to a particular situation. Such actions are generally antisocial in nature, and the person might end up causing harm to himself or others. All right, so acting out, I looked up acting out, and I looked up the translation for it, and it said that is paso al acto. Now, I looked up paso al acto just to confirm, and no, that is not correct. There are actually two different terms, acting out and paso al acto. So, actos impulsivos is, I had to read like 4 articles just to get a sense of what was the difference between acting out and paso al acto, which is not the same. So, I believe actos impulsivos is more representative of acting out than paso al acto. Why? Because acting out is, for example, behavior that shows impulsiveness, right? For example, let's say that a mother asks her child to go ahead and throw out the trash. Then the child, instead of throwing out the trash or responding, I'll do it later, he just completely blows up, right? Why do you always tell me to throw out the trash, man? I don't want to live here. I hate you, or whatever, right? That's not like a normal response that we would expect from an individual if they ask him to take out the trash, right? But of course, this individual might be irritated towards the mother, so whenever his mother speaks to him, he doesn't listen to his mother. He wants nothing with his mother, and that's the kind of acting out that he will express, right? So that is acting out, all right? Or whenever someone acts out of impulsiveness in with antisocial behavior, okay? And what is paso al acto? Now, paso al acto is also impulsiveness, but this has more of a relief in mind. Like, it's impulsive behavior and escape. Like, for example, what could be paso al acto? A paso al acto might be this person that unconsciously just, like, all of a sudden they have cuts on their arms, right? Because of all of the pressure, all of the tension, stress that they're going through, and cutting out like impulsively is a way out, right? It just clears that tension from them. That's also a catharsis as well, because the act of cutting is a catharsis for whatever the person has in their mind. All right, and so paso al acto is also like suicide, right? Because the person, they're just trying to get out of their mind, and the only way out for them is suicide. So paso al acto is impulsiveness, yes, but hoping to get relief. Acting out is impulsiveness, but it's like I don't want to say irrational, but it's like acting out. Oh, I'm gonna define acting out by saying acting out. No, it's actually going ahead and doing impulsive behavior, like something that is not expected, that could be harmful for the person or could make the other person feel bad, right? All right, so that is acting out. And number 6, apathy. Apatia. All right, so what is apathy? Apathy is a state in which a person suppresses his emotions like motivation, excitement, concern, passion, etc. is known as apathy. An apathetic individual exhibits sluggishness and doesn't show interest in the social, emotional, or physical life. So apathy is an individual that just lacks emotion in his life at all. Like maybe something, and this is something that happens with depression. It doesn't happen all the time, but this could also show up in depression. So it's a person that maybe just doesn't want to get out of bed, right? They're just there all the time, and they just don't have the motivation. Like, why do I get out of bed? Like it will not even make a difference. It doesn't matter. Or why should I be happy, right? Or maybe something very exciting happens in their life, and they're just like, man, like that really exciting thing has no meaning upon them because they're they're just in an apathy, right? They're just in this state where they're just like in this I don't want to say sad state, right? Because it's like a lack of expression, right? They're just like in this standby state. They're just like in the standby state, right? Not, and at one point in my life, I was in apathy, and I can tell you that I felt like if I was floating in a bubble, like I was stuck in a bubble, and then the bubble was floating in the air, and then like I was like moving, and the bubble moved, right? It moved when I moved my feet, but I was just stuck there in the air. Like I wasn't moving forward, backward, or nowhere. I was just stuck there, and that's what I felt. And I'm pretty sure that's what apathy feels like, or that's what it felt like to me. All right. Number 7, bereavement. And this is duelo or pérdida. And what is this? Is the feeling or response that a person exhibits upon losing something or someone is termed as bereavement or grief. So bereavement is just a fancy way of saying grief. But this is a term that is used medically a lot, bereavement. They even have bereavement therapy. Losing someone is very hard. If you haven't lost anyone, consider yourself lucky, but odds are that you are gonna lose someone, all right? The first person that I ever lost was my grandpa, like in Christmas, this past Christmas, due to Rona. So I was pretty bad, but I could get on with my life. But there are times where a person dies, and this person has let's say, for example, a person dies, right? And then there's a person that's very dependent on it, and they just can't move on with their life because it just takes a big toll on them, and they just can't get on with their life. Like they're stuck in there, and there's no way to get out of it. Then they might recommend bereavement therapy so that this person can get over the loss of the loved one, right? And I've seen it. I've seen it in my family, and it's bad. It gets bad. And of course, I mean, it might be like a wife or a husband, right? They probably share their whole life together, and all of a sudden, that person is no more. So I understand them, and it's good that we have this kind of support and therapy for these people that are actually most affected by this. All right, number 8. Number 8 is delirium, delirium. So this is the state in which a person loses his focus and perception, followed by cognition in a sudden manner, is referred to as delirium. It is an acute syndrome which might develop quickly within hours or even a few days. So delirium is a state that can happen from certain drugs. It's a state that can happen from medical conditions and side effects of medications. All of this stuff could cause delirium. So delirium is like hallucinations, an inability to focus. Like for example, let's say me right here, right? I can see my reflection there. Let's say I'm here, but let's say I think that I'm in a hospital, right? And I think that gentleman in front of me, who is actually my reflection, is a doctor, right? That would be delirium. And this usually goes away. It's temporary, and it's not there to stay. All right, so that is delirium. Number 9, delusion. Engaño is the translation for that. And delusion is a belief that is fixed in the mind of a person and which could either be fanciful, false, or derived from a deception, is known as a delusion, right? For example, if you make YouTube videos every day, you're gonna get rich, right? Please tell me I'm not delusional. Just kidding, guys. But Well, there is some delusion to that, right? It doesn't guarantee it, but let's just talk about other stuff because that's just gonna hurt my feelings. So what could be delusion? For example, a person can think that their mother wants to um, put sleeping pills in their meals so they don't get out, right? And it's not true. If it's true, well, it's a crime, right? If it's not true and the gentleman or the patient is thinking this, then it's a delusion, right? Because he's delusional. The patient is creating this false idea that his mother is doing something to him when it's not true, right? Another delusion could be uh, someone is pursuing them. Boys don't cry or men don't cry. All of that stuff that is ideas, that are not real, are not true, but people just like believe them, like, and they can just believe them and they think it's true, and it's not. That is a delusion. All right. And number 10, regression, regression. All right, so what is regression? It is a defense mechanism through which the ego temporarily reverts to an earlier state of development using regression. The thoughts are pushed from consciousness to unconsciousness. So I've had some sessions with regression with a 2-year-old. All of a sudden, a very bright 2-year-old is who's potty trained and he says many words or is starting to say many words. All of a sudden, he has a traumatic experience, right? And he no longer he has to use a diaper now, and he no longer talks. That is regression, right? Because something happened to this little kid that traumatic experience, right? It made him go back in life into a state before, right? There's not potty trained, not speaking, and the child has to be given therapy for them to actually go ahead into normal development. So that is regression. All right, and that was number 10. So that's going to be pretty much it for me today. Please leave your questions on the comments and I will answer some of them on the next session. Remember that if it's time sensitive, let me know and I will get to it hopefully before the due date, right? And remember, I'll be here every Monday through Friday after work. Remember that we're still trying to get the prepare for the CCHI video to 100 likes, but I accidentally erased my 100 likes. But we're still trying to get that video to 100 likes. We have 80 likes, so please guys, help us out. Give us that like. All right, and thank you, Fabiola, and everyone that has been pushing that video. Also, remember that we have a Patreon page where with as little as $1 of your support, you help motivate us to create much more content, and we give you access to all of the medical videos ad-free, scripts, answer sheets to those videos, vocabulary lists, and much more content. And most importantly, you will forever win a place inside of our heart. So we love you to all of our Patreons. We love you to everyone that has bought us a coffee. We love all of our subscribers. We love you that is watching the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so for much more content. And don't forget to share. Happy interpreting. Goodbye.